Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to take a look at 6 games marked as unsupported by Valve but still run great on the Steam Deck. And also we're going to show what additional tinkering needs to be done in order to get the games running with quick tutorials when needed. First on the list is one of the most underrated games in the FPS genre and my personal favorite FPS game of all times, Titanfall 2. The game had a very sad launch story, when it got sandwiched between the biggest two shooter games of the year, Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. So despite it being a far superior and more polished game, it sadly did not get its chance to shine in the spotlight. The game is 6 years old now, so no wonder it runs great maxed out on the Steam Deck, with battery smooth 60 FPS, whether you choose to set the minimum FPS to 60 like I did, or just leave the option off. But I recommend keeping it at 60 to avoid any FPS drop that may occur. The game starts and plays great out of the box, with both the campaign and the multiplayer running like a dream on the Steam Deck. But since the game is 6 years old, I do recommend installing NorthStar mods, which swaps the vanilla game servers with dedicated community servers. So in order to do that, first you'll need to run the vanilla game at least once. Then what you need to do is go to the desktop mode, open Discover, then search for Viper and install it. And once you get it installed, just open it, then click on Install. This will automatically download and install NorthStar with all of its components. And if you want to revert back to the vanilla Titanfall 2, just click on the Mods tab, then click on Toggle All. This will either disable or enable the mods. Just quick note, NorthStar mods are completely safe and will not result in you getting banned. Next on the list is another game that is surprisingly still marked as unsupported despite it running maxed out right out of the box with no issues for the few hours I played testing it on the Steam Deck. It runs at stable 60 FPS maxed out. This is the sequel to the great Metroidvania Ori and the Blind Forest, and it takes place a little while after the events of the first game have concluded. Both games are visually stunning, and with this one in particular looking like a beautiful Pixar movie rather than a video game. I strongly recommend you checking out both games, as they are some of the best games Microsoft have ever put out. The third game in the list is another title from EA Games, and it is the remake of one of my favorite racing games that I enjoyed a lot playing during my college days. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered feels and plays like it was tailor-made for the Steam Deck, running at a locked 60 FPS with almost everything maxed out. And it's a perfect match for the Steam Deck with its fast, chaotic and fun races that will surely keep you at the edge of your seat or bed. Just make sure you don't throw your Steam Deck at the wall out of frustration when losing by an inch at the last turn after a near perfect race. And yes, that happens a lot, the game is that intense. Next we have the fifth entry in the long-running fighting franchise, Street Fighter V. And with the next game in the series releasing next summer, there could be no better time to pick up the game and start honing your skills. And what better way to do that than on the Steam Deck. The Champions Edition brings with it a lot of characters to play with, a lot of stages to choose from, along with the full general story, individual fighter story modes, and of course arcade mode. The online modes are functional, and other than a little stutter at the start of the match, the game runs at a locked 60 FPS during matches. Next up is another sports game made by EA that might not appeal to everyone. But hey, the FIFA World Cup fever has just wore off, so why not relax and take a break from the stress of watching real life football and spend few $1,000s opening FIFA Ultimate Team packs, getting scammed of your money, getting only players you don't need, because that's what a real gamer would do. Reflect on your life choices, invite some of your friends over for a virtual football night, lose all of your friends in one night, then move on to the next game on the list. Well, jokes aside, the game runs perfectly on the Steam Deck, at locked 60 FPS during gameplay, and the online modes work perfectly well, including the FIFA Ultimate Team if you have few $1,000s to spare. And saved my favorite game on the list to the last, Naraka Bladepoint. This is melee battle royale with lots of waifu to choose from and some dudes to play as well, but hey, the choice is yours. I won't judge you. The game is marked as unsupported, but it runs right out of the box with Proton version 7.0-5 or Proton GA 7-41 and above. And I believe you might need to install Proton Easy Anti-Cheat Runtime from the Steam library in order to have the optimal performance. Though I managed to play a couple of matches perfectly fine without it being installed, but I recommend having it installed anyway, cause why not? You can set the graphics settings to low or use my optimal settings for an even greater experience and lock in display refresh rate to 40 and FPS to 40 as well. The game is great to play solo and awesome to play with friends, so I recommend playing it with friends. For my recommended settings, while staying gaming mode, go to the game properties and force the resolution of 1024x640 and then enable FSR by clicking on the 3 dots button on the Steam Deck. Use the settings you see on the screen now. This should give you a locked 40 FPS during gameplay and with decent graphics as well. And with that, we reach the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed this humble list. Wish you have a great new year and see you in the next video.
Anchors away. The tide will not be rushed, and neither will I. Raise colors. Let them know fear. Told you, this is mine. You're just sinking.